Welcome to another TCAP commentary. I'm Lunar. Tonight we're going to be looking at the Crime Watch Daily version of Jeff Sokol's encounter with Chris Hansen. Let's get it started, shall we?
It's Saturday night in the Connecticut suburbs.
Oh, quickly, before we begin, sorry, I just want to say credit goes to Crime Watch Daily for the upload that we're watching tonight. Just want to make sure and give credit where due.
Is in the air. And this guy is bringing pizza to the door. Jeff Sokol is no...
Alright, this, what the hell is this photo, dude? What in the world are you thinking, bro? Like, this is the same guy who claims that women who get French manicures are trying too hard. What? Like, Jesus Christ, as if you have any right to tell anyone in the world they're trying too hard at anything, dude. Fuck off.
Man. Cops say he's here to meet a 13-year-old girl.
Good, how are you?
Yeah, we'll move forward just a little bit here. We've already seen the uncut footage, so we don't need to watch bullshit. Okay, so LinkedIn, his LinkedIn profile, they mentioned how he calls himself the master of puppets. From what I understand, he was like a manager, middle or lower manager at some insurance place. I mean, they say that insurance part in their show here. But as far as I understand, he was like a manager at one of those companies. And just imagine having this guy for a boss. Like, I just get the feeling he would have been like such a fucking tool. I feel like he would have just been such a shit person to have to work for. Like, he thinks of himself as like the fucking, he actually thinks of himself as a master of puppets, right? He probably thinks of all the people beneath him as like little fucking puppets and little ants and stuff. And just, I don't know, I get the feeling he would have been absolutely insufferable to work for.
Famous heavy metal song.
Possibly a reference to a famous heavy metal song. No, Chris, he's actually calling himself like a fucking ventriloquist king, dude. Fuck out of here.
He says he graduated from the University of Massachusetts Amherst with a degree in management. He worked at...
God, that sounds so boring, dude. A degree in management. That just... no disrespect to anybody who has a degree in management, but that sounds absolutely fucking boring. That sounds like... What do you even do? Like, what does that even entail? Like, I mean, I figure you got to do your general ed, and then what? Do you, like, what's this? Ugh. Maybe someone can shed some light on that in the comments.
In the insurance industry as an auditor, but he says he now drives for Lyft, the ride-sharing service.
Also, so it's worth pointing out here that he was doing the insurance auditing job when he went to the Sting house, and then after going to the Sting house he was fired from that job, and that's when he began driving for Lyft. I mean, they say in the show that he was driving for Lyft, at the time of the show airing, but I wanted to just kind of clarify that there. I did a little bit of research, and from what I can tell, it looks like he was fired from the auditing job and then went over to Lyft, and I imagine he didn't work for Lyft very long.
We're working with the cooperation of the Fairfield Police and the online...
Especially not after he was convicted. I highly doubt that.
Watchdog group Tetrad Core. Tetrad posts pictures of actual 13-year-olds on social media.
So, Tetrad Core, that's another subject I wanted to bring up. And I'm not going to go too far into this subject because, frankly, it's actually a much bigger discussion for another day, for another video. But Tetrad Core, man, what a bizarre concept. Like, what a completely bizarre thing. I mean, it's not a bizarre concept. I mean, watchdog groups have been around since the beginning, and they need to be, but it's just like, from what I can see, Tetrad Core never did any other operations after this. Like, this was their one and only thing. They may have been involved in Contraland. I'm gonna have to look that up, actually. But as far as I'm concerned, like, yeah, they basically they only did this one sting. That's just so bizarre to me. You know what I mean? Like, you guys, was that off of the money from the Kickstarter? Like, did the money from the Kickstarter go toward helping make Tetrad Core? Because if so, that's fucking lame, because Tetrad Core only did like one sting, you know what I mean? And that money was supposed to be for, like a TV show anyway, not just for the catch people. I mean, I guess you got to work them into the budget, but whatever. It's weird stuff.
Their identities. It's not long before
there's Bulletproof Lori.
We'll call her Bailey.
She's so hardcore, bro. Look, this is the silliest shit, dude. Look at this, man. She's wearing a bulletproof vest inside of a house that you're not in Baghdad It's not like 2003 Baghdad. You're not in fucking, modern whatever, Gaza or Ukraine. Like, you're not in some place that's just being ravaged or whatever. Like, even as far as predators go, like, have you ever seen a situation where someone needed to be in a bulletproof vest while they're doing decoy calls? That is so bizarre to me. It's so weird. Like, ugh, my gosh, weird.
It's a little raunchy. Are you a virgin? LOL, yeah, that is personal. No, I was with my boyfriend once. I really want to be intimate with you. Do you have pretty feet?
God, man.
LOL.
Oh my God, what a fucking, just what a weirdo, bro. Like, that's just, to jump from, okay, like, it's, to say any of this to a kid, first of all, right, is obviously just completely fucked. But just, like, I don't know. Ladies, if there's any ladies in the comments, or any ladies who happen upon this sometime, what would you say to a guy who hit you up like this? Like, if there was a guy you were chatting with, and like a few days into chatting, he hits you with, "I really want to be intimate with you. Do you have pretty feet?" with a fucking tongue out emoji. Like, what would you say to that if you received that? It seems weird to me. I'm not kink shaming people with a feet fetish or whatever. That's, you do what you do. It's just, it seems like such a strange way to approach even, a young girl. Like, I mean, you shouldn't approach a young girl, period, but like, that seems like a bizarre way to approach anybody, frankly.
Yeah, I don't have homeless feet. He then turns the conversation very...
Getting pissed about plumber. So here's a conspiracy. I don't think that he actually was waiting for a plumber that day. I feel like he used the plumber as an excuse to procrastinate on coming down there. Like, he was conflicted about coming down there. He claims in his catch that he was apprehensive about coming down, and that's believable. But there was something in the phone call that also kind of tipped me off to the idea that he may have been just making that up, some bullshit, just so he could justify, pardon me, just so he could justify, like, sitting, so he could have some time to justify his decision, right? Like, he wanted to go, but he wasn't sure. He was weighing out the consequences in his head. He was thinking, what if I just go and use X or Y excuses if I get caught? What if I say I just came to chill? No malicious, right? I just came to chill. I'll probably be okay. Like, I don't know. And of course, you got the try hard face again. Like, Jesus Christ, Jeff. Jesus Christ, Jeffy.
Personal, asking questions no adult should ever ask a 13-year-old. Do you trim your blank?
I didn't do anything wrong.
LOL, yeah. Do you think blank size matters?
Oof.
Nope, X was decent. I'm not that big, but I know...
Oh my God, bro. That is just brutal, dude. Like, it's bad enough to get, like, don't get me wrong, getting caught on this show would be life ruining, but like, then one of your obvious insecurities is just blasted out there for the whole world to know, because he may not have had a small dick. He may have had an average dick, but he may have been one of those guys that had like pornography brain rot, where he's watched so much porn that he's convinced every dude in the world has like a 7 or 8 inch penis, and if he isn't swinging like that, then he's just hung like a gnat. Like, every chick is a size queen or whatever, and it's just, oh my God, man. Imagine having that blasted out there, dude. Ugh.
Know how to satisfy
Big
a
L.
girl. Sokol seems to be worried that Bailey might be an undercover cop, so he asks for a custom pic to prove she's real. Take a selfie holding up 4 fingers below...
See, what a conniving little fuck, dude. Like, what a conniving little shit this guy was. Nowadays, like, you see this, like, I watch a lot of the amateur predator catchers. I watch like Predator Poachers. Back when DAP was on, I was a big fan of DAP. Shout outs to them. Big fan of what they did. They were awesome. I watch a couple of different Predator Poachers groups. I admit I watched the main one. That one's kind of, the main Predator Poachers, like with Alex Rosen, they're great. I want to be real, like, they're absolutely great, but sometimes their humor can just be so fucking like repetitive. I don't know. I feel like we walk a lot of the same ground over and over in some of their encounters. Don't get me wrong, that doesn't stop me from watching literally every single one of them. I follow them on Rumble, I follow them on YouTube, I'm subbed to them, and I love what they do. But the reason I say that is, nowadays in the amateur predator catchers, when you see them out there, the predators more often than not are asking for stuff like this now. I never knew predators to say this kind of stuff like back in the TCAP days, and this was kind of like, kind of mind blowing to me at the time because I was like, holy shit, this guy's like really committed to this. Like he's really, there's a lot of premeditation here. He's asking for like a very particular selfie and shit, and like he's really trying to test the waters, if you will. It just, I don't know. That seems like something that was not as common back in the day, and now it is. But anywho, let's move right along, shall we?
Your face, then I would know it's really you. My fear is that it's not you, that it's someone in law enforcement looking to nail someone. Bailey's.
Christ. Jeff, don't. I really wanted to pause the video there if you couldn't tell. Jesus.
Is that it's not
Jeffrey,
you, that it's
nobody wants to nail you, okay? Nobody wants to nail you. People want to put predators away. People want to make sure predators aren't out going after kids. But nobody wants to nail you, Jeff. If they did, you wouldn't be here.
looking to nail someone. Bailey sends the pic, and Sokol sends a creepy reply. I like it. Your hands are cute. Sokol knows the girl is.
He says,
creepy reply. I like it.
your hands are cute. I always look at hands on a girl. Fucking weirdo, dude. Again, ladies, if there's any ladies in the comments, let me know. What would you say to a guy like, say, at this point he'd been chatting with her for a couple of days. So what would you say if like I guess at this point if you're already cool with him, if you're cool with him asking about like licking your feet or whatever, or implying that he wants to lick your feet, then I guess the cute hands thing wouldn't be too crazy. You know who else loved looking at hands on a woman? Oh God.
Hands are cute. Sokol knows the girl is 13, and he says he knows what he's doing is illegal. As a 44-year-old guy, I shouldn't be talking to 13-year-old girls like this. I could be put in jail if the police found out we were intimate.
I haven't done anything wrong.
The only way police
Oh yeah, let's get the obligatory fucking advertisement out of the way.
would know
All right,
if
thanks.
we ever got intimate is if someone saw us together or you told the police. Not by me. Blank that. Well, tonight, intimacy is not on the menu.
Not
In
by
fact,
me.
dinner is
Blank
delayed.
that.
Sokol is late because he says his pipes sprung a leak.
Hello?
His pipe sprung a leak. Like, okay, pal, if you say so.
Hey, what's up?
He thinks he's calling Bailey to tell her he's late, but he's actually speaking to Lori from
He's actually on the phone with a middle-aged woman wearing a bulletproof vest while she takes decoy calls.
Tetrad in our virtual control room.
Did your plumber get there yet?
That doesn't even sound like a kid, bro. That's another thing with all these predators that always blows my mind, especially like on the TCAP shit, like the old school shit, is they didn't even sound like little kids, like except for the one that talked to Lauren. That chick sounded like she was like 6 years old. That was ridiculous. But like a lot of these calls, they don't sound anything like a little girl. They sound like grown ass women. Like if I'm on the phone with this person, I would be thinking like, what did you do at work today? Like, would you work at the bank, or are you a bank teller, or you work in a restaurant, or are you some kind of like computer science person, programmer, IT? Like, what's your thing? I wouldn't be like, you would have to be a fool's fool to hear some of these voices, including Lori's, and think, wow, that sounds like an actual 13-year-old. Jesus Christ, you'd have to be a fucking freak to even want to find that out in the first place.
Finally, his plumbing repaired, Sokol heads down I-95 for Connecticut.
Yeah, his plumbing doesn't get fixed until Saturday night. Like, okay. I mean, it's not unbelievable. Just, okay. It's not unbelievable, but I don't believe it.
Picks up a pizza and asks Bailey about what to wash it down with. You got booze? My mom has some vodka, but no rum. Sokol arrives at the house.
Mom has
Our
vodka,
on-site decoy,
but no
a
rum.
19-year-old theater student lets him in the door.
We've already seen all this.
I'm really nervous.
Oh, you're gonna get hot?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
So I, in the last video, I kind of made fun of the noise that he makes here, and let me do this. Let's play this again for you.
I'm sorry. I'm really nervous.
What's up? You don't want to give me a hug?
oh,
I'm sorry.
Like he makes the same sound that the enemies make in Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, like the bosses make when you kill them when you get the last hit. And let me hold on, I can show you guys what I mean by that. Also, possible spoiler alert there. Whoopsie doodle. Oh, great. More ads. More ads, dude. Of course. Whatever. It is what it is. He makes the same sound that the bosses make in Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past when you get the killing blow. Just listen. Oh, wow. Fucking... Wow, 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 wow.
Are you okay?
Nervous?
Oh, you're giving me a hug?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm
Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, I mean, the sucker was defeated that evening, so, hey. I mean, hell, he was pretty well defeated by that single action alone, by her declining to get a hug from him. Wow, 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 wow.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
It's like one of the sounds I would make to, like,
Also,
troll my dogs or something.
Okay.
So, kind of picture matches.
Um, no.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Hang on.
Okay, one thing. So yesterday, I filmed the uncut version of this yesterday. When I did that episode, the actual very first episode of these commentaries, and in the last bit that we did about Jeff Sokol, I mentioned that when he gets to this point, he is so passive aggressive. Like you can clearly tell that he is high key pissed at the prospect of not getting some pussy that night. Like you can tell he is actually pretty well peeved. He's like, great, I drove 2.5 hours and I can't even get a chance to get a hug. I drove 2.5 hours, I don't even get a chance to get a hug. It's like, oh my god.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Hang on.
I've just never done this before.
You can't see it as well in these this particular edit. It definitely comes out a little bit more in the uncut version because you can see his face. But the face he makes when he says that, you know, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm not pissed. I'm not annoyed at
Are
this.
you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Hang on.
Yeah, you go back and watch the uncut version if you don't pick up what I'm putting down here. He's just such a passive aggressive little biatch, dude.
I've just never done this before.
No.
Have you?
No. Not really. I mean,
Are you telling me the truth?
I've met girls online, but I don't like come like this far to like meet someone. I don't know why
It's
whatever.
kind of crazy.
I've met girls online.
Oh, shit.
It's kind of crazy, huh?
So go back again and watch the uncut footage where you can actually get a better look at his face, and the look on his face just really says it all. Like he clearly is annoyed at the fact that she doesn't want to like give him a hug. He clearly thinks that's like, you know, oh shit, dude, 2.5 hours and I can't even get the chance to get a hug. Oh man, I'm totally not getting laid tonight, bro. This is totally bogus.
It is crazy. Yeah, why did you let me come?
I don't know.
If you're so nervous.
It seems like a good idea. You seem nice.
Why do you think
We've already tread this before.
hang out with?
We are. So,
With a 13-year-old girl. Jeff Sokol thinks he's going to scarf down some pepperoni pizza with a 13-year-old girl he just met online. But tonight, he apparently has a different kind of topping in mind.
What the hell kind of line is that, by the way? Like, what? God, Chris, is that the best you could come up with? Like, he was spitting fireballs in the house, dude. I said in the last video that, you know, he was really spitting heat in the house that night, dude. Or during that sting. Like, he was, you know, he was coming with the one-liners and shit. He was really on game. But holy hell, you know, the year after they filmed this and they were doing these edits, man, that's the best you can come up with, Chris? Come on. He's got another topping in mind. You couldn't make a joke about like sausage or pepperoni or something. You can. Jeff apparently thinks he's going to give this girl his pepperoni or his sausage. Like, yeah, it would have been, pretty on the nose. But I mean, I don't know, man. He had another topping in mind. Like, Chris, what the fuck, man? It's cheesy. I get that it's a family program, but whatever, man. It's an innuendo either way, right? Like you're referencing a sexual act either way, whether you're saying he had a different topping in mind, he was gonna be on top of her, or you're saying like, oh, he wanted to give her his pepperoni. Like, I don't know, just
I mean, you look great.
Thanks.
You just look different than than like in the pictures. I don't know, maybe.
are her hands as cute as you thought they would be, Jeff? Do you think her hands are as pretty as they were in that picture? You fucking freak.
I expected you to have dark hair. Did you?
My hair just, it lightens up in the summer.
And no, I'm not saying. I mean, I think you
You
look
don't
great.
like it?
I think you look.
I've never heard of that, by the way. I've never heard of people's hair lightening up when they like, oh, in the summertime. I mean, like, okay, one of my cousins was born with like blonde hair. He had blonde hair when he was like a baby and a toddler. And then probably yeah, probably by the time he was in like kindergarten, his hair was brown. I've heard of that before. That was like, a 5-year span or so, or a couple of years at least. But I've never heard of anybody's hair just lightening up in the summer and darkening back up in the autumn. If anybody has gone through that, shed some light in the comments, please. That's interesting to me. I just have jet black hairs, so my hair never lightens up or darkens up. It's gonna start graying pretty soon. That sucks, but hey, it could be worse. You could be Mike Manzi.
Great. I'm just saying, like you look different, yeah, than I thought.
Yeah.
But
Well, you never can tell with online things.
In a text that will turn your stomach, Sokol talks about a marriage contract and even suggests
The only thing that can prevent me from getting arrested is if we got married, lol. We could always elope. Dude, when you're talking about eloping with a child, like Jeff, you were way past needing therapy at this point, dude. You were way past needing like some kind of sex therapy, sex counseling. I know that I read on the Reddit AMA that an alleged friend of his did, and again, take it with a grain of salt because this is an alleged friend. I grant that his AMA is pretty believable, but he said that Jeff was at the time of the sting, or when he knew Jeff, rather, several years prior to the sting, that Jeff went to counseling for OCD. And he mentions having a really severe OCD issue when he's in the interview with Detective Kelly. It's, dog, you needed way more than that, man. Like, if you ever find yourself contemplating how you can legally fuck a kid, you need to immediately get in therapy. Like, immediately get in sex therapy. If that thought even crossed your mind for a second, because I mean, if he would have done that, if like the first time he thought about having sex with this girl, or that he might want to have sex with this girl, if he had stopped right there and gone and got counseling, we wouldn't even know who he is. Like, there would be no discussion of Jeff Sokol. He would be another nobody. He would be somebody none of us have ever heard of. He'd still be up in Boston, being the master of puppets at some fucking insurance company, living in a studio apartment. You know, save yourself the trouble.
Dale, look, the
Get
only
counseling.
thing that can prevent me from getting
To quote 20th century and 21st century philosopher Michael Jordan, stop it. Get some help.
arrested is if we got married, LOL. If you were married to me right now, then I wouldn't be breaking the law.
All right, well, maybe you can move her to Saudi Arabia and maybe you could marry her there. I don't know what the age of consent is there, but I imagine it can't be too terribly high. So, I don't know.
what's that?
I have no idea. Someone protect? No.
What kind of pizza we have tonight? Who's this?
Who's this?
I'll get to that in a minute. Who are you?
I just love that fucking smirk on his face. He's just so fucking satisfied to be back in the saddle with this shit, dude. He's just like, oh man, I'm finally back in full form. Like, ay ay ay.
Who are you?
Who are
Tell
you?
me first.
You're Jeff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing here tonight, Jeff?
Hanging out.
Hanging out with who?
with her. Who's her? I want to know who you are.
I want to know what
The uncut footage is so much better than this, man. I mean, I realize they only had so much time to work with, and you know, there's limited resources and all of that. I get that, but you get such a better feel for this when you watch the uncut footage because you can see the facial expressions, and he's a very animated person, right? Like he's very, you know, he makes a lot of very funny facial expressions. And so it's, yeah, I definitely recommend it. If you haven't seen the uncut footage, go check out, just go watch Walls's upload of it. Shout outs to Walls for that upload, by the way. Or you can check out my last video if you haven't.
bit more about you first.
Can I eat first?
Can I eat
Sure,
first?
go ahead. He's so relaxed and convinced of his innocence, he eats a slice of pizza.
Tell me who you are, because, you know.
I don't think it was that he was convinced of his innocence either, by the way. I said this in the previous video, but like, that was definitely just a coping mechanism. You know, that was definitely just him trying to have some semblance of control. It's like when people are in interrogation, like you see these interrogation videos, and people will be desperate to like hold on to their phones, or they'll be desperate to hold on to like a cup of water or something, because as long as they've got that like one possession in their hand, you know, they feel like they still have some semblance of control over the situation, or they feel like it's not as bad as it looks. I don't know. I didn't major in psychology. You'd have to figure that out on your own.
I didn't know there would be other people here.
Well, what did you expect to happen this night, Jeff?
Didn't have any expectation.
No expectations whatsoever.
No.
So you drove 2.5 hours?
Sure did.
From
Sure did. Like, look at that fucking arrogant look on his face. Dude, that is just... He has such a punchable mug, dude. Like, he actually has such a punchable mug, dude. Like, someone should make, like, a modern version of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out and just put the Preds in there. Just put the Preds in there with their fucking punchable faces. And Jeff Sokol could be, like, the main final boss or whatever.
Boston
Sure did.
Who are you?
to come here.
Look at that. He's so shook that that pizza is fucked, bro. That pizza is fucked. Look at that. Like, you clearly have a fraction of the other piece next to it on this one. Pull it off. You know, and don't act like you're above it, like, oh, I don't want to use my hands to pull it off. I'd rather use a fork. Bitch, you were just talking about eating off the damn table a minute ago. Get the fuck out of here. He was talking about eating off the table after she'd already offered him plates. Fucking troglodyte.
Who are you?
To come here
Are you her dad?
to meet a young girl.
Are you her dad?
Do you really think that's her dad? Do you really think that's her dad? Do you... wow. Like, how out of your mind do you have to be to end up in this situation in the first place, but to also think, oh, this must be her dad? Like, bruh, if it was her dad, you would not be sitting there enjoying your pizza. Okay? Like, basically any dad who's not completely fucked in the head would have already either A, kicked your ass, B, killed you, or C, thrown your ass right out on the street, or I guess alternatively they would have called the police on you. They would have like locked you down and been like, all right, you're not going any damn where. You came here to rape a kid, so we're calling the police. Sit tight. Like, you think that's her dad, buddy boy? Like, come on.
In a minute. Go ahead, everybody.
Shook. I'm telling you, he shook like a fucking California earthquake, dude.
Sokol probably should have brought napkins.
I haven't done anything wrong. Coming to meet somebody? What's wrong? What is that against the
Coming
law?
to meet a young girl?
Yeah, it's against the law.
It is after this chat.
How?
Did you bring some kind of a contract with you? Some sort of marriage contract? Let's see if any of this sounds familiar while you enjoy your pizza. Your mom?
We've already seen this in the last vid, so we're gonna move forward just a bit. Oh, great. Right into an advertisement. That's wonderful. At least they're only the ones that are like 5 seconds long. At least they're the ads that are like 5 seconds long and you can skip them. At least it's not like unskippable 30-second shits. But now that I said that, now watch them pop up.
Okay, I can be there Saturday afternoon. Explain.
The music is great. The music, you definitely kind of miss the music in the uncut version, but at the same time, I don't know. It does a good job of, like, dramatizing the moment, I guess, but it's also not necessary, because what drama do you need? This is drama. Like, this guy is already fucked up. Like, I don't know. I'm just rambling now.
Explain it.
Just wanted to come hang out.
Just wanted to come hang
You
out.
wanted to come here and have sex with a 13-year-old girl.
Okay, is that against the law to like?
This is the stupidest fucking one, dude. This is one of the dumbest preds. Jesus Christ. I can't believe this guy managed to get a college degree. Evidently, he got that degree when he was pretty young, too. He was like, it was 93, right? And he was born in, what, 71, 70? So he'd been like 22, 23. So he went and got a 4-year degree, basically, like right out of high school. And I don't know what all management degrees entail. I imagine they're not super difficult, but nonetheless, to have the, like, what's the word? Discipline, you know what I mean? To have the, just the ability to get through that, 4 years of school at such a young age, to not succumb to, like, the partying lifestyle and, like, the, a lot of people go to school and they get carried away with the drinking and the drugs and the, partying and stuff. And they ultimately end up leaving school. It takes them way longer to get their degrees. It takes, a good amount of discipline to just rush, get right through it, 4 years right out of high school. So, how do you go from that to being stupid enough to sit in here in the kitchen at a sting that he doesn't know yet is a sting and ask if it's illegal to have sex with a 13-year-old? Like, bro, what? Holy hell, dude.
To have sex with a 13-year-old girl when you're 44? Yes, it's against the law.
To meet a girl. That's all I've done.
You see how this looks.
Okay, but do you also see
But nothing.
that? But I want this, and that's
Half hours to hang. How often do you
fucking
to
over
this house? Likely. Or is you there? So,
That's like
you talk about a plan to make it legal. To marry her. Chance with her?
well, like 3 years. I know. I mean,
Skipping quite a bit of this.
yeah. I do.
Okay.
I'm
So, Chris, anything else you want people to know? Anything you want to say?
Yeah, this will be a much shorter upload than the last one. We're not going to run anywhere near an hour on this one. Let's get that reveal one more time. We came to see somebody get owned.
I will. Can you just tell me who you are?
I'm Chris Hansen. And this is an investigation.
Owned.
So if there's anything else you want people to know, anything you want to say, now would be a good time to say it.
I can't believe this happened.
Well,
Jeff,
believe it, Jeff.
What cops say 44-year-old Jeff Sokol did will disgust every parent in America. In text, he freely talks about marrying a 13-year-old girl. You're almost 14, expletive. You're an adult. As long as...
Also, if you want a really, really funny reading of this chat log, I highly recommend go and watch the Jeff Sokol immersion pack. It is absolutely hilarious. The voiceovers that those people did for the chats, just fucking hysterical. Like, I can't see the chats now and not hear certain, like, readings of it.
You're almost 14.
You're almost 14.
Expletive.
Fuck it, you're an adult.
You're an adult. As long as you are under 16, age of consent, nobody can know about us. But he's not so forthcoming.
How slimy, dude. Like, if you ever have to say that to someone, you go to therapy, bro.
During my confrontation.
Did you bring any sort of a marriage contract?
Yeah.
So what was all that talk about?
I don't want to talk anymore.
You can leave.
Shut it off.
Let's go. Cops grab him. During the search, cops find a sex enhancement pill, the kind where you call a doctor if it's still working after 4 hours.
Never seen slide over to the passenger side, please.
Sokol is placed in the back of an unmarked police.
God, so hypothetically, I thought about this. If he had taken the Cialis pill, I said in the last video it was Viagra, it turns out it was Cialis, whatever. if he had taken the Cialis pill before eating that pizza and going to jail, like, would he have been sitting in that interrogation room fighting the urge to get rocked up? Like, that's a genuine question. I don't know how that stuff works. Like, would he be, is he now suddenly faced with, is it like taking like a diuretic or something, or, a laxative? And it's like you take that and then, so much time later, you're going to have to pee or poop. Well, is it like that with these kinds of drugs? Is it like you take one of those pills and then all of a sudden you have like an uncontrollable like erection? I mean, maybe a Cialis taker could fill us in the chat with that. Or, I mean, like, answer in the comment.
Police car. The cops put his pizza in the trunk. He's hauled off to Fairfield, Connecticut Police Headquarters.
What a miserable drive that would be. Also, this is Detective Kelly. Super cool dude. He's a badass.
Sokol is booked, fingerprinted, and poses for a mugshot.
There's the famous mugshot.
Cops read him his rights.
Anything you say or statements you make may be used against you.
He waives his right to remain silent.
There's a lot of darkness in that room, dude. There's a whole hell of a lot of darkness in that room. I mean, I see this room and I think about Michael Gentile, whom we will do a commentary on eventually. Man, that's such a dark call that he makes to his wife there, He is in the chat, in Gentile's chat, he's calling his wife the witch. And then he's talking about in this situation when he's downstairs, waiting to get booked. I'll call my wife. Just so much darkness in this room, man. So much sadness. So many L's, all self-imposed. Don't get me wrong. I'm not empathizing or sympathizing with any of these creeps. Just pointing out there is a lot of suffering, rightfully earned, happening right here in this room.
And the arrogance he displayed during my confrontation comes out in the police interrogation.
Isn't that all speculation?
To me,
I mean, it's
what's the speculation? I'm looking at this thing. It's like,
you're speculating that I was going to have sex with her tonight.
because that's what you said.
I didn't say that.
You didn't.
That is exactly what he said. He didn't. No, you said that you would be in trouble if people found out that you were intimate. Blah blah blah. You walked in. You tried to get a hug. She didn't want to give you the hug. Like, you were clearly disappointed by that. Like, dog, there's so much more. You came down to fuck. Okay. Nobody drives 2.5 hours on a Saturday night and buys pizza and vodka, not expecting to get something, not expecting to get some kind of, hickadoola going on. Like, Jesus, man.
Say that. Or
Also, I really wish we could get I wish we could get the interrogation footage in better quality, because the interrogation footage we have is horrible. Like, you can't really see their faces. You can kind of make out Jeff Sokol's face at certain moments. In the audio is also horrible. Thankfully, there are some people who have done uploads with enhanced audio, but yeah, what a shame.
Well, we talked about having sex, but that doesn't mean...
Because like I said, look at how animated he is. Like, he is just, really.
strange.
That doesn't mean I was going to. Tonight.
What's the deal with the marriage certificate? What was that whole conversation? You have a marriage agreement or a contract you talked about?
A defeated man. Just look at this.
A contract.
Look at that, man. He's contemplating every horrible decision he's made in the last few weeks while he's sitting there. He knows how far. I really wonder what goes on in their minds when they're in this interrogation room, because none of these guys got the sentences that they deserved. Pretty much all of these guys got like a couple years in jail, so, or they got like they got 5 to 7 year sentences, but they were suspended after, 2 or 3 years. So ultimately they only end up doing 2 or 3 years in jail, maybe a little bit of probation. And it's like, that's nowhere near as bad as what they deserve. Like, they should be facing, years and years and years. I don't think that they should get out personally, but in their minds, they have to be thinking like, oh shit, dude, I'm about to go to jail and get completely rocked, get my fucking shit fucked up. Like, I don't know. I love to watch the interrogations. I really do. And I would love to see the full interrogations of like Michael Gentile, John Dupay, which actually, no, John is on. I've seen John's before. I need to rewatch that. There are a lot of them I wish we could have access to. But anyhow, let's move this right along.
Talked about.
Well, I know I was joking at one time when I said, is it in the contract?
Oh yeah, total. He's a real joker over there. A real joker over there.
I wasn't
Was
joking.
there a mention of like bringing some type? Maybe it was in jest, but did you mention bringing some type of marriage contract or something like that?
No, it wasn't. No. Bringing something? No. I was just explaining to her that people could get married by just signing a contract. Signing, marriage documents.
So, but you're talking about a 12-year-old girl, right? And it's kind of.
Yeah.
I think you could probably even
14,
understand.
but yeah, she said she was 14.
Said she was 14. Okay. Go right. Wow, we're gonna have to let you go, Mr. Sokol. I'm terribly sorry that we brought you in tonight. This was all a huge misunderstanding. We thought you were here for a 12-year-old. We didn't know you were here for a 14-year-old. If that's the case, wow, jeez. Listen, you want your pizza back? Can we compensate you for the gas for driving down here? I mean, I really feel bad, man. This is, it's really unfortunate, man. You never even meant to do it, 14, man. We should. I can't believe what this world is coming to. Yeah, go ahead and call off the dogs, boys. Drop the charges. She's 14, not 12.
Okay.
She was 14.
I know. Yeah.
We're talking like 12 years old. That's like 6th, 7th grade. You know what I mean? It's a young.
His breath has to smell horrible, dude. Like, you know he has to smell like shit.
They keep saying 12.
Well, you want me to use your term and say 14?
I mean, I know they're both young, but it's a little bit, different.
What a fucking crazy, fucking bizarre outlook. Like, what a crazy outlook to have. Like, oh, it's okay. She's 14, not 12. So, she's in 9th grade, not 7th. Like, what? Okay, oh, she's in high school, boys, not middle school. It's okay. No worries. Call it off. Like, how the hell would you ever? Jesus, man.
To make it okay if you're going to do things with her and she's 13. And you ultimately have
The famous stink face.
to do things with her and she's 13.
Look at that, man. Like, he did himself no favors here. He did himself absolutely no favors here.
And you ultimately had relations with her,
It would.
intercourse. How does it make it illegal?
It wouldn't unless her mom consented to marriage. It's the only way it would be legal.
So you're gonna marry a 13-year-old girl with her mother's permission?
Maybe when she's 16, I would do that. How does that? Why is that?
This guy thinks that he's like, dude, like, he thinks that he's living in like the Civil War era when that kind of thing was normal for like 40-year-olds to marry 13-year-olds or whatever. Like, dog, or for 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds to marry like 16-year-olds. Like, dog, it's been like 150 or 60 years since then. We don't do that no more. Thank the Lord, as a society, we do not let that happen anymore. Like, why on earth would you? And also, in 3 years, you'll be 47, bro. You'll be nearly 50 years old in 3 years. What 16-year-old girl is gonna be like, oh my god, that's my dream boat? A short, balding fucking dude. Well, he's not balding, but whatever. A short, ugly dude from some studio apartment with a little dick, dude. Yeah, that's my dream boat right there. What?
Like, so hard to believe.
You're 44.
Says what I've been trying to say for so long. You're 44, bro. Like, what the hell?
Seriously, that's a major league problem.
It's a major league problem, not a minor league problem. It's a major league problem involving a minor, but it's not a minor league problem. It's a major league problem. I guess you could say it's a minor league problem in the sense that she's a kid, so should be in the minor leagues, and you're an adult, so you should be in the majors. I don't know. That's a little bit weird phrasing, but yeah, dude, it's a major league problem.
According to the law, it is.
But according to what
According to the law, it is.
it's not.
And in my head,
In your head, maybe.
knowing what I was there for, knowing that it was not dangerous, that it was not a threat to her.
And that right there says everything you need to hear.
Knowing head, according to the law, it is.
But according to what it's not.
And in my head.
In my head. Jeff, in your head, there's just a bunch of rocks floating around, or kicking around.
Ed,
In your head, man.
knowing what
He tried to. I mean, in his head, it was all justified. It was all cool. It's like I said in the other upload. He thought in his mind it was like, oh, it's no big deal. I'm just gonna go meet a little girl, gonna eat some pizza, have some way watered down vodka, and we're just gonna chill. It'll be totally cool. Like, I'm even gonna bring some wings, dude. Trust me, we're totally not gonna fuck. Like,
therefore, knowing that it was not dangerous, that it was not a threat to her.
The detective then asked Sokol what he would think if he had a daughter, and she was hanging out with a 44-year-old guy.
You're cool with that?
Well, obviously, at first, no.
At first?
Yeah, when they first walk in, it's not gonna be cool.
but what if you don't walk in because you're in fucking Dallas, Texas, on a business trip, and some creep shows up at your house to do your kid? He thinks he's trying to equate this to, like, oh, what if you walked in and some grown man was fondling your kid in the kitchen or whatever, like after you come home from work. It's like, no, dude, you went way further than that. You went out of your way to plan around when her mother was going to be out of town. You made it a point to make sure, like you even said in the chat, oh, I should come when your mom's not there. That's the best time to come. Like, if someone did that to you, you would want to kill them. All right, period. There's no other way around it. If someone did that to you, you would want to either kill or seriously injure them, dude. Like, Jesus Christ, man.
But if it was somebody like me, I don't think there's a threat.
Sokol posts
I don't think there's a threat, dude.
a $250,000 bail and heads home to Beantown.
$250,000 bail, bro. Oh my God. I don't know if they do the 10% eligibility thing up there. I guess that would come out to like, what, 25 racks? But, even if it's just 25 racks on that 10% eligibility, man, fucking brutal, dude. Brutal. Imagine how much cheaper it would have been to just go get counseling, to just go get counseling to get off the internet. Like, imagine how much trouble you could have saved yourself. 25 grand just for the bail. And that's, again, assuming there's 10% eligibility. Some states, some jurisdictions definitely don't do that. But, god damn, dude. 25 racks, plus the gas money, plus the pizza and the vodka, plus the water that you had to put in the vodka to make sure it was way watered down, dude. Way watered down. Plus the lawyer fees. He hired a personal lawyer. I don't think he went with a public pretender. He actually had like a private lawyer. So that had to cost a fortune. This bankrupted him. This completely bankrupted him. And it's just... he deserves to be bankrupted. He deserves so much worse. So fucking much worse. But just look at that look, dude. He looks so... Like, there's a combination of, like, fear and loathing, right? Like, there's a combination of he looks very afraid, and yet he looks very annoyed with this instance as well. Like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Like, all I wanted to do was fuck a kid. I can't believe I have to pay 250 grand or whatever the hell to get out of jail, and I got to be labeled a pedophile. Like, oh my God, man. And it was on TV. God damn.
Now cold pizza. I have never, out of 315 or 320 in all the investigations, had anyone ever offer me a piece of pepperoni pizza. So
He's right. I want to be pedantic and say, no, you've had pizza offered to you before, but the only other pizza we're aware that he was offered was Supreme with pineapple. So he's not totally wrong. It was the first time someone offered him pepperoni pizza on the show.
Sokol was charged with 3 felony counts: attempted second-degree sexual assault, attempted risk of injury to a minor, and tracing a minor by computer.
Oh, Lord, man. Imagine going to jail with those charges, dude. Oh, my God. Imagine having to go into the fucking general population with that shit on your papers, dude. Like, oh, my God, bro. Oh, my God. He was a mark, dude. He got the shit beat out of him.
Fairfield Police Chief Gary McNamara tells me Sokol's talk of marriage contract is a way to rationalize his behavior.
So they look for ways to justify, and this is just another way of him being creative in trying to really justify that.
A marriage contract.
Well, it doesn't matter what it is. Could be a marriage contract, could be...
This guy looks like one of the detectives from the Fort Myers sting. Or no, actually, no, I'm sorry. It wasn't Fort Myers. It was one of the stings that took place in like Kentucky. It was the one that they got Jim Roush on. The one where they caught Jim Roush, Michael Myers, Timothy Klein or Kine, whatever, and you know all the other stooges they caught there. He looks like the one of the detectives in that that catch.
An official stamp from who knows who. It doesn't matter. It is illegal to have sex with children. It's illegal to communicate you're going to have sex with children.
Sokol pleaded not guilty.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Check that out, dude. That is so like.
You're going to have sex with children.
Sokol pleaded.
What are you thinking, dude? What are you fucking thinking? What is this haircut, dude? Look at this. What? He's trying to do like the Zoomer Carrot Top thing like a solid 5 years before that's even a thing. He's trying to do like the whole, you know, like fucking really, really short on the side. Like the, I don't know what you would call that shit. I'm not stylish, but he's trying to really get ahead of the trends here, you know. Nowadays, it's not abnormal to see kids walk around with like carrot tops. That's what I call them. But this isn't even a carrot top, dude. To quote a post I saw in Reddit years ago, this is like, you know, he just went to the barber and said, fuck my shit up, family. Just go in there and just fuck my complete shit up, dude. Like, yikes, dude.
Charges and will stand trial.
Takes off for the door again.
After a court hearing, he dodged.
Have you done anything wrong yet,
back
Jeff?
Inside the courthouse. We saw him sneak out the back door and duck into this restaurant.
My, oh my. Alright, well that's Jeffrey Sokol. That is the Crime Watch daily footage. I guess we've come, not full circle, but maybe like half circle, maybe quarter circle. Still want to do the phone call. I still want to do reading over the chats sometime, but that'll probably be in the future. That's probably not going to be like anytime real soon. I'm a little bit Jeff Sokol'd out right now, so probably going to do a commentary on Ernest Timmons next, as you guys probably saw earlier. Really almost started to do an episode on him tonight, but I just couldn't really get there. I was like, yeah, I was much more interested in finishing up talking about the Jeff Sokol footage. So now that we've taken care of that, I think we'll do Ernest Timmons next. I've got a little bit extra coming down the pipeline too. Like I've done some commentary, or I plan to do some commentaries, I should say, on like various, like, you know, criminal interactions with police and public, like, you know, the body cam footage of people getting interrogated or getting busted committing offenses. A good example, one of them that I want to do is there's a video of this lady who's like studying to become an accountant, and she shoplifts like over $600 worth of groceries at a Target while she has her stepdaughter or her boyfriend's daughter with her. It's not actually her kid or stepkid, and she gets busted, and you know, it's a whole thing. We're probably going to do that one sometime very soon, so stay tuned. I'm Lunar. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I sincerely appreciate it, and go out there and have a great day, and make sure you do so on purpose. Bye-bye.